Okay. Okay. This video is not going to be edited because my editing computer has completely went bust. It's just dead. The computer's doing that thingy. So this is going to be an unedited raw video. And today I'm talking about, obviously, there's a brand new Moondrop and it's called the Variations. Wow. It's the big brother of the Blessing 2, and you know how much of a sucker I am to Blessing 2s. But it's a bit weird because it's priced at $520. So it is not the sort of Blessing 2, that's undercutting the price. It's not like the Aria, which is doing the undercutting in price. It's actually going above and then upgrading the overall package. I am really excited, but I haven't heard it, so don't take it as an actual review. This is just my first impressions on just basically what I think about it. And it is interesting. I am like 99% very happy that it's there and 1% a little bit skeptical about how it's going to sound. So what about let's just get going. So apparently the Variations is a variation of the Blessing 2, which I have over here. Yeah, it's a variation of the Blessing 2. It's 2 EST, 2 BA, and 1 DD. So it's tribrid. Nice. And here's the first kind of, little question I have, because the electrostats IEMs, they're usually made up of a little bit more driver than this. 5 drivers, it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, 5 drivers a lot. But I am a little bit concerned about how that 2 balance armature, which I know it's the same driver from the Blessing 2, is going to handle the wider range you have to handle. Because, hear me out, the electrostats, they usually handle the super highs, like the 10K and above. And they have removed the 31,736 from the Blessing 2, which is going to be handling like the 6K to about the 10K, 20K. It can go up higher, but it's sort of, the sound will just drop a lot. And, and then we move down to the graph, where we sort of see my little concern. And can we just give props to Moondrop? They're not afraid to show it. They're really not afraid to show it. I can tell. The Sonion, the EST, it's called there's basically just like 2 EST from Sonion, so it's one of them. And the dynamic driver, that changed to liquid crystal diaphragm, which is, I think it's because of the Aria, they're changing the coding of it, but I think it's the same gist. And the rest is the same. The soft ear is D, mid B, customized, mid-range balance. Yeah, that's just the same as the Blessing 2. Probably with a little bit more different tuning, but I'm not sure. And then we go down to the graph, frequency response. And here, you sort of start to see what I mean. Okay, first of all, the bass, and then the highs. Here's the same peak at 3K, which is, perfect. And then we have the dip. Yeah, that's usually... Back then, let me show you this. Back then, it's a lot more smoother all the way until 8K. It's like a gradual descend towards 8K. And now we have a really sharp dip until we hit 7K, 8K. And then we have a sharp rise again at 9.5K-ish. And then we have the rest. That's sort of just, not a great coherence. So you're going to be losing a lot between the 3 and 7K in the gain of 7 to 20. I know that's sort of a decision you have to make for EST because EST are hella fucking expensive. They're like $100 a piece. So I totally understand. If they want to sell it at this kind of price with the EST, they have to do some, sacrifices. But that sacrifices, I'm not sure it's worth it. Because that is where actually a lot of the instruments are. And beyond sort of the 10 and 20 kilohertz, there isn't really much there for regular music. For a lot of the MP3 files, they actually cut at 15. So everything beyond 15 is just useless. I mean, for audiophiles who spend $500, they're probably not that far into the audiophile, sort of the game. I mean, they probably are, but not far enough into getting DST 256 for every single audio file they can find. So I'm not exactly sure that this decision is like, you know, the best decision, but I'm not going to question them. I have blind trust into them, so yeah. I mean, I definitely can see what's the appeal on this, because it's like a little upgrade. But there are sacrifices. And here's another reminder. I haven't heard it before. I'm saying it again. I haven't heard it. So I am just basing off the graph and what I think, because the drivers in there, I know it from the Blessing 2, and the driver I removed is the 31732. Is probably 36 is probably one of my favorite drivers for the highs. And I haven't heard any ESTs like on their own, but I'm just a little bit curious into what they're gonna do with this section. That's why I'm saying I'm cautiously excited about it. And then we move on to the bass, which actually is very interesting. It's a little bit more aggressive even than the Dusk, which is about a 5 decibel bump. This is pushing it up to like 7 decibels. I'm a weirdo. I don't like the Dusk bass. I like just completely flat the original Blessing 2 bass. But I believe most people will like this bass because it's more aggressive. And the bass extension seems a little bit better. But, that's just me. I'm not, that into these kind of basses. And, oh yeah, and then the phase, the distortion, doesn't really matter. And, oh wow, yeah, they got the cable, right. They got the 3 interchangeable cable for the 2.5, 3.5, and 4.4. That's good. Wait, is that? Yeah. And the rest, yeah. I mean, the rest is basically the same. What is the impedance is actually lower. And the sensitivity is higher. Oh, actually, it's a bit lower. It's about 122 before. So it's about the same drivability as the Blessing 2. But it changed out the EST for the balanced armature. Knowing the price and the basic design, you really see that the profit margin is very slim, because the double driver sonion, they're basically $100 a piece, and then you have 2 of them. So comparing to the Blessing 2, the original one, this one is $200 up. You can see where the money goes, and it's all towards the EST. That's great, but I'm just a little bit concerned about tuning, and I cannot say anything more than this before I hear the actual thing. So, yeah, that's about all. I think it's gonna be a great buy. I wouldn't recommend, like, a blind buy yet, because I cannot recommend anything. I haven't heard anything, so my decision, like, whatever I say right now, it doesn't count. But, yeah, definitely something interesting, and I'm a little bit happy, internally, because sort of can, sleep happy that, there's not just like a cheaper and better version of the Blessing 2 for maybe similar or lower price that like will render this obsolete, so that this will probably retain its resale value better than I thought, because I thought like something like this is going to be like lower in price, that's going to affect the resale value of this, but no, it's actually a level above. It's entering a price bracket that Moondrop haven't really got a product in, which I think it's smart. It's bridging the gap between the Blessing 2 and the A8 and S8. And I feel like it's going to sell well. It's a Moondrop. Oh, shut up, phone. I don't care. And about that, that's about it. And, I forgot. I forgot about the build quality. And the build, I feel like it's exactly the same, but it went matte. And it went to the dark side. I have to say, most people enjoy matte black, but I'm a fucking weirdo. I like crystal clear stuff, and not my thing, but it might be most other people's thing, so my opinion doesn't count. And the pattern on the back, it really reminds me of the Lamborghini taillights. It probably just me, but it's really similar to Lamborghini taillights. interesting notes. And the shape, I think overall the shape is the same. Maybe it's a little bit larger. I cannot tell because the EST actually have like a transformer and a driver in there. Yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger, or they figured out a way to stuff it in the same shell. I'm not sure, but it's probably going to be the same size, so if the Blessing 2 doesn't fit your ear, this thing is not going to fit your ear as well. And besides that, yeah, that's about all. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye. Ah, Jesus.